Hey everyone, so today we are going to be making a tumbler. I had an order for a graduation tumbler. If you've seen my Instagram or my Etsy, you have seen the tumbler that I made for my niece. They are graduating this year from Big Spring, Texas, and they are the Steers, black and gold. That is where I went to high school as well. And I will be making Valerie's tumbler today. So without further ado, we can just go ahead and get started. I've already painted the cup gold. You just used regular spray paint. Just make sure you don't get the lids, so covered it with plastic. Now also what I need to do is I'm on Cricut Design Space so that I can make her name. And I've already picked out a font, and now I just need to get the letters to be in the right place. Now a good tip when using Cricut Design Space and getting the letters in the right place, if you make it really large while you're doing the spacing, or the kerning as Auntie Tay likes to say, then it's actually a lot easier. So once you get them all in the place where they need to be, and I'm simply just selecting the letters that I need to move over and then using my arrow. Now right here, the R and the E, they kind of have a little bit of trouble connecting. You probably can't see from too far away, but all I do with that is just mess with the position numbers on the x-axis. And of course, if you don't have Cricut, you can just use any like vinyl letters or scrapbook stickers. They have all the letters that you can pick out, and you can do that. Or you can have somebody make it for you if they have a Cricut. So right now I'm just trying to get the spacing on the E and the R right. I think that's the best it's gonna be, to be honest. And then so I'm just gonna finish spacing these other letters. Now the reason that I say to do it extra large, not only so that you can see everything, but I don't know if you do have Cricut, if you've noticed that whenever you isolate to letters and then you fix the spacing, and then when you weld it, often the letters that have like the A and the E, they'll go solid black. And the best way to fix that is just to make sure that before you weld it, that it is very large. I mean, more large than you're going to use it. Right now I have this at 10 inches wide. There's no way I'm going to use it that way, but when I click weld, all of the letters leave open the empty spaces, so none of it got solid. And then whenever you go put it back down, it doesn't go solid either. So we're good there. Now her name is quite long, so when I make this to 3 inches wide, it's only going to be an inch tall. So what I was thinking of doing was go ahead and adding class of 2018 underneath, because an inch, I mean, it's going to be so small right here. So I wanted to go ahead and just add maybe like class of 2018 underneath. That way it can be Valerie class of 2018 instead of just her name real skinny on there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick. And it just has the same font that I used for her name already. Now, here's another thing. With this font that I'm using, there's no letters. I mean numbers, I'm sorry. There's no numbers. So it's just showing up as these weird little symbols. So that means I have to pick a different font. Okay, so that one looks pretty good. Class of 2018, it looks kind of like a yearbook. And again, I'm sorry if you can't see this far away. I have it zoomed out just so that you can see what I'm doing with the cup and everything. Alright, so class of 2018, I'm going to leave the spacing exactly as it is. I don't have too much problem with that spacing, but I do need to make it 3 inches wide so that it fits underneath. That's going to be a lot thinner. So let's see what it looks like with her name. Okay. think that looks really good. It looks very studious. So right now I'm just going to get them aligned with each other. And if you have any questions on anything that I'm doing in the Cricut Design Space, honestly, the best place for you to go would be to Auntie Tay on YouTube. She is the best with tutorials and Cricut Design Space. I am just here with you today to show you how to make these cups. And I do also want to just go and show you this real quick. So this is one that I made. Big Spring, Texas is very small, and about 10 minutes from Big Spring is Coahoma, Texas, and that's also where I lived. So Coahoma is Coahoma Bulldogs, and so I made this cup with the bulldog symbol, the C, and then I added some rhinestone footballs. And if you saw my last video, that was the big rhinestone haul that I got from Michael's on really deep clearance. But I also add, you know, this little ring on the side. It's a stainless steel ring. It's glued to the cup. It's all coated so that it won't come off. And then you just hang like a little tassel or something from it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. This tassel is actually for her cup. I just wanted to show you because this one's already got the tassel holder. I don't know, I haven't really decided what to call it. Right now it's just a jump ring glued to the side of a cup. So, now with this, I'm going to be cutting it out of glitter vinyl from Cricut. And I went ahead and already put it on here. Now the glitter vinyl, whenever you mix it with the epoxy, it tends to leak. So what I went ahead and did was covered this with Mod Podge before I cut anything. That way the colors won't run. So I'm going to attach these two together real quick. And we're going to make it so it needs to be a little over 3 inches wide, 2 inches tall, and that's perfect for this top one. Alright, so I've got to plug in my Cricut real quick. Now, while I'm doing all this, I did also want to talk to y'all about my YouTube channel. I know some people have already subscribed because I did the haul with the gems, and I definitely love doing haul videos. I love crafting. This is my first crafting video, so please forgive me if it's a little weird. But my YouTube channel is going to be a little bit of everything. I really want to post things that I like. So my next video after this one is actually going to be a DVD haul. And I'm going to look up some trivia on the movies. That way it's not just, here's this movie that I bought. I'm also going to try to find some trivia. But I love going to CD Exchange, DVD Exchange. And that's where I get a lot of my movies from, and I have a giant bag over there behind the camera just waiting for me to make a haul video. So definitely, if you are here just for the crafts, please be patient with me if you see something like a DVD haul or, you know, electronics or whatever the case may be, because I honestly want to do everything. I don't want to just be tied down to one thing. The majority of it's going to be haul videos though, so if you like hauls and you're here for hauls, it'll be that. So right now I'm just trying to find glitter vinyl. Now this is always hit or miss, so if it's a fail, don't laugh at me. While we're waiting for that to cut, I also wanted to show you what we're going to be putting on here. So with my niece's graduation cup, she got her name, she got some graduation caps, which I was very lucky when I found these because they already are black and gold. And that's the school colors for Bixby. So I have caps for Valerie's cup. And then also Valerie is into cosmetology. So on my niece's cup, she got her instrument. I put that on there and coated it with epoxy so that it would stay on there. For Valerie, I found this cute little sticker set. It's a scrapbook sticker set, but as long as you coat it with epoxy, it's not going nowhere when you wash it. So it has a little clipper and a comb and some scissors and a little barbershop thing with chair with a booster seat. That is so freaking cute. I probably won't use the chair. I might use a chair. If the booster seat comes off, I might use a chair. But I'm definitely going to use the clippers, the blow dryer, and the scissors and the comb. And then this up here, it says my first haircut. I don't need that one either. But I was also thinking of this time using a border from my giant thing of gems that I bought. Because the cup's gold. The cup's very gold. So I have the black. Oh, and also another thing with my videos, I really hope that people don't get annoyed by this, but I'm probably not going to edit my videos. I have a lot that I have to do as far as making crafts for my Etsy, making orders. I also deliver Postmates if I'm not working, and I also have a full-time job, 40 hours a week. So if I don't edit my videos, do apologize. If they're really long, I'll try to go in and just cut some stuff out. But if I say and a lot, I'm sorry. So I have these black ones. And I was thinking maybe if I did like a border of black around the cut. So maybe even down here. This is just a little shorter. So just like a border. I'll see once I put it all together what it looks like, but I thought about doing that too. This is one of the ones that was $3 and I paid 75 cents for this. Alright, so moment of truth. The reason that it's hit or miss is always weeding. I honestly never have the patience to weed. And then I end up ripping things. And then sometimes I have to make it like 3 times bigger so that I don't mess it up. Also, I'm thirsty. Sorry. I know aspartame, but Diet Coke is so good. Okay. Let's see. I have this thing too. Let me plug it in and I will show you because it's amazing. Crafters, you should know what this is by now. I got mine on sale at Michael's. I think they're like $80 and I paid $60. I know to some people $20 doesn't sound like a lot, but crafting, $20 is $20. Alright. So, you can plug it directly into your Cricut. There's a USB on the side. That's fun. And then, oh, a funny story too before this. So, if you can tell, the lighting in here is really good. I got 2 crafty lights from Amazon, and I got them so that I could take better pictures on Instagram. And before my lights came in, I had to post pictures because I had to get them posted on Etsy. So what I would do is the white shelves that have square cubes in them, I would put my charm inside of there, and then I would turn on my bright pad, and I would use that as the lighting. So I would have it propped up, and then I would take the pictures of the charms with my bright pad as the light. Worked pretty good, but not as good as these crappy lights. Alright, so this is a bright pad. It's pretty much a very expensive tracing pad from Cricut. But what it does is, right now, you can't see anything through this black. But when you put it over, well, you're not going to see it. But when you put this over the black, over the bright pad, then you can see where the lines are, so you know where to weed around or where to cut without messing up. So I am going to weed this real quick. So do any of you know what Postmates is? Leave a comment down below if you have ordered from Postmates or if you deliver Postmates. I think I've done both. Right now I don't live in an area where I can get Postmates delivered, but I can drive about 20 minutes away and then I can deliver Postmates. It's pretty cool. Also, are any of you in San Antonio? And do you order Postmates? Because if so, that would be cool if I saw you. I've noticed that. It's tearing. Cricut brand glitter vinyl is the worst. I hate it. But I bought so much of it, so I'm still trying to use it all. But it's just so annoying. Does anyone have any recommendations on glitter vinyl that's cheap or cheapish? Oh, another good thing that happened today, as I rip this too. Oh. My husband actually finished school today. He was an RN now. He took his final, and he's done. He does have to do his NCLEX, or his boards, so that he can be registered. But he's finished. He's done with school, finally. We're going to have a ceremony Friday so we can go see him get pinned. My daughter's going to come and stay the weekend with us. Guys, I promise this is going to be the longest part of the video. If I haven't already edited it all out. I guess I can tell y'all another funny story about Postmates. So the other day I was delivering and I got an order at Whataburger, and it was for, oh, I have two funny stories. Okay, so this one I got an order at Whataburger, and it was literally 3 chicken strips. No drink, no french fries. Just 3 chicken strips. And so I got the order, figured out where to take it. Hold on. I'm gonna have to redo the class of 2018. Like 3 times bigger. I got the order of chicken strips, and then it told me where to take it. So I took it, and where I delivered it to was an HEB. And whenever I pulled up, the girl said she was outside, and the girl was in an HEB uniform. And the first thing that went through my head was, why couldn't you order chicken strips from the deli at the HEB? Like, I just don't understand. Sometimes I just... I mean, like, I'm grateful because it's money. I'm earning money doing something like that. But sometimes it's just like, why are you ordering this? I want to be able to go shopping. I want somebody to order stuff from Walmart or HEB so that I have to go shopping for it. I haven't got that yet. But I am terrified that somebody's going to order alcohol. Oy. Like, I know you have to check their ID, but what if I get to the door and they beat me up and steal the alcohol? Because it's just a bunch of punk kids. I want this good. Oh yeah, I just looked at that class of 2018 and it was way too small. I think if I do class of and then 2018 below it, then it would be bigger. Oh, the other funny story I had about the Postmates delivering. I had delivered some food to a business, and then as I was walking out the business, I got another order. And the new order was a $40 gift card to Urban Outfitters. Now, I thought I was going to get murdered. I was like, who orders a gift card? I feel like it was just a reason to get me to their house, and they were going to kill me. And then they were going to go shopping at Urban Outfitters. So I texted Michael. I was like, listen, I'm fixing to go deliver a $40 gift card from Urban Outfitters. If I die, you know where I was. Because that's the other thing too, is like the app knows where you're supposed to be delivering to. But I mean, I went to go, also like when I went to go to get the gift card, I asked him, because the app said that it was already ordered. And so I went to go get it, and he said, no, we don't have an order. We don't do orders for gift cards. And I was like, well, this tells me that it was already ordered. And he goes, no, when you go online, if you get a gift card, you just get a digital gift card, and you can use it whenever you want to. And then when he said that, and then as soon as he said that, I was like, oh yeah, I'm definitely getting murdered. Like, why did you need a physical gift card? And so also too, like the gift cards, I asked her, because like since he didn't say he could order it online, I thought, well, maybe there's different designs and maybe she wants it to look a certain way. And he said, all we have is white. And I was like, oh my god, this lady made me come to Urban Outfitters, buy a $40 gift card that's white, and deliver it to her house. Does anyone watch Bunny? I love Bunny. Okay, so Valerie looks really good. I think I'm going to go ahead and put her on the cup. I was hoping to do it all at one time, but this class of 2018 didn't work right. I hope this doesn't freak anybody out, but sometimes I just throw stuff on the floor because I'm going to vacuum it later anyway. Alright, so I need transfer tape. Alright, so here's the tip. Transfer tape, if you use Magic Cover from the 99-cent store, or even Dollar Tree has contact paper. It's meant for lining your shelves, but it works pretty good. And of course it's a lot cheaper, and it's obvious. And it's also not as sticky, which sounds weird, but if you've ever used strong grip transfer tape on glitter vinyl, because regular transfer tape doesn't work on glitter vinyl, whenever you put the strong grip transfer tape on your project, then it takes all that off and it's just a big mess. So this takes a little bit more work. But it's cheaper. If you'll excuse me, I have to make sure I spell her name right before I put it on the cup. Nailed it. Alright, so I'm going to take off the lid. We don't need it right now. But I do need to put her name on there. Sorry, this part I can't really talk. And if I do, I'll get distracted. Like Mariah Carey. Okay. This is the fun part, lining it all up. Now, you're probably not going to see the end result in this video, so I definitely do ask you to please go to my Instagram, and I'm going to have the link in the description, and then also my Etsy if you want to like order a cup. Sorry, I'm really bad at winking. So ignore the flaws on the cup. Again, once I epoxy, it's going to look amazing. But here's her name on the cup. Oh, let's get some light. Valerie. And I'm going to leave you for 2 seconds because my battery's dying and I need to plug it in. Be right back. Okay. So, after several hours, 3 cups of coffee, a few cuss words, we're back in business. My memory was full. It wasn't my battery, it was my memory. And then when I tried to transfer the stuff from my camera to my computer decided it wanted to act stupid and crash. So I deleted all the files, but then I couldn't remove them from my camera because they were on my computer. So then I did it again, and then it crashed again. So the files are on my computer. My computer's trying to re-download the operating system. If you're watching this, then that means I fixed it. So, hopefully. But I have to use my iPad to get the rest of my design. So I went ahead and loaded that up for us. And now I just need to get it to cut. And let's see. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and have that cut. And while we're waiting for that to cut, we can go ahead and add some embellishments. We already know where that's going. It's going to go right underneath. By the way, it's now 6:49 in the morning because I've been spending way too much time trying to get my computer to work. It's a MacBook from like 2005. It's the ones that they used to use for the schools. And I bought it because I love like the old MacBooks. They were white and thick, and that's what I wanted. But I think it's about time for us to replace it. So I think I'm going to put this embellishment around here. I'm not going to have to cut it. So I'm going to go ahead and add that now. So the really cool thing about these is it is a bunch of beads, but it comes on one whole sticky. So that way you don't have to worry about placing each bead separately. And I'm going to start from the middle so that I can make sure it's going to be straight all the way around. So my husband gets up and goes to work. He gets up and gets ready at 5 o'clock in the morning. And so while I was fighting with my computer, I started hearing some noises in the kitchen. So I went to go check, and he was getting ready for work, and he looked at me crazy because I was still awake. But I work best at night anyway, so. Alright, so there is the border. It definitely looks like a pimp cup. But I think it looks cool. So black and gold. And then our class of 2018 just finished. So let's see. Yeah, that's gonna look real good. So again, it's different font than what we used previously, but that's only because they didn't have numbers in the other font. So leave me a comment. Do any of you have a Cricut? Do you use a Cricut? Do you make crafts? Can you put your Instagram in the comments? That way I can follow you if you make crafts. I always like watching. Oh, if you have a YouTube craft. Oh god, I'll subscribe. YouTube crafts is all I literally do. While I was waiting the first 30 minutes for my computer to mess with that video, I was watching a girl. She made molds out of silicone. And that's literally all she was doing, was making molds out of silicone, and I just thought that was the most fascinating thing in the world. And that's why I want to post videos, because to me, like, to each their own. And if it's somebody sitting there for 30 minutes making molds, I like watching that, so somebody else is bound to like watching it as well. And hopefully, when I'm doing stuff like this that's boring, as long as we're talking about something interesting, I mean, I hope that that makes everyone happy. Okay, we're almost there, we're almost there. It's funny, I have this craft room, and somebody had asked me to do a tour of my craft room, so definitely let me know below if you want a tour of my craft room. But I have been working on it, and every time I come up with a new craft, for some reason it ends up in the living room. So like when we first started, we had the Cricut machine was in the living room, there was paper everywhere. And then we started moving the Cricut stuff in here, and then I started working on like making pom-poms out of yarn, and then all the yarn was in the living room and it was everywhere. And then I moved everything in here, and then just recently we started clay. And so for the longest time there was so much clay in the living room. Like I had a big giant mirror on the floor, and that was my workstation. I had clay everywhere, and it's just like, after a while it gets overwhelming to like want to sit in the living room and relax, and there's just craft supplies all over the place. So we finally got this table as well as a TV, and I know a lot of people probably won't like that I bought a TV for my craft room, but honestly it's because I like watching YouTube and getting craft ideas while I'm crafting. So that's the only reason I didn't have the clay stuff in here, is because I wanted to watch like, what is his name? I think it's like Polymomo T. Oh, his clay stuff is amazing. And then also Rachie, I can't remember what her YouTube name is. But she makes really cool clay stuff. So I like to have the TV where I can watch YouTube while I make stuff. But the thing was is I have that table, and when you're working on them you're facing the walls. So yeah, I thought like even if I had a TV in here, I would be facing the walls and not being able to see the TV, or I'd have to turn around. So we went ahead and got this table from Walmart and another chair. That way I could work at this table making clay or doing a project, and then I only really need to go to those tables if I need to cut something from the Cricut or put something on the cup tisserie to get it sealed, and then other than that I'm at this table. So let me put this on real quick. Spray paint bump, and then I'll show you what this looks like, and then we can put the rest of the embellishments on, and then we can give it a coat of epoxy. Hopefully I go in there and my laptop's back on, that way I can upload this video. I'll probably try to cut it down a little bit just because it's already super long, but also, like, I don't mind long videos. Sometimes whenever I see a video and it says an hour and 45 minutes, I'm like, geez Louise. But once you start watching it, you can tell whether or not you want to finish watching it. And if you want to finish watching it, then that's completely up to you. Nobody makes you watch them. But I always notice too, like sometimes I'll be crafting and watching YouTube videos, or even just watching YouTube videos about crafting, and then like 45 minutes later I realized I just finished watching a 45-minute video and I did not even plan on watching it that long. So, I mean, I hope that my content is going to be interesting enough that everyone would want to watch me for that long. Definitely thank you for your patience, and right now I'm like getting used to it. I tried doing YouTube videos a while back, but I didn't really get into it. I made those private so no one could see them. Sorry, I was doing some surgery. Oh, and the F stuck to my finger. So what kind of videos would y'all want to see? That's definitely what I want to know. Because, I mean, I'm going to post what I like and what I want to post. But I'd also like to know, like, what you would want to watch if you like watching me. And you'd want to watch more from me. Okay. That was the longest and hardest part. I think maybe next time when I do one of these, I'll have the vinyls ready to go. But it's just so satisfying to see the cut go from zero to hero. I don't know if you can see with the lighting. This is Valerie, class of 2018. Is gonna have a chalice. Okay, so I want to start with graduation cups. So I think, because we have the front Valerie class of 2018. Oh, I also need to add the ring so that I can add the tassel. And for the ring, I use a sterling silver stainless steel. You'll have to forgive me. It is 7:10 in the morning, and I have been up since yesterday. I know I just had them earlier. Oh, they're hiding. Okay, so I'm going to use super glue and get this sterling stainless steel ring. think for her cup, I'm gonna put the tassel right here. I bought this super glue, and I almost think that it was kind of empty when I got it. But at the same time, it was only $2. So I don't know if that has something to do with it. Maybe it's gonna dry for me. We'll give that just a second to dry where it's at. I'm currently drinking an apricot LaCroix out of my cup that says this is probably LaCroix. This is like one of the first cups I made with glitter vinyl. I didn't design the logo, of course. I got the logo from the website, but I had to like separate it into 3 different cut files so that I could cut it in different colors, and then I had to layer it all together. So this is one of my first cups that I made. I love LaCroix. The only reason that I don't think that I want to edit either is because I don't like whenever there's like choppy, like, oh, I love LaCroix, and then, okay guys, it's just dry. Like, there's no easy way to cut that. Like, you obviously are cutting something out. And yes, it may just be me staring off into the space, or checking my Instagram to see if any of you have followed me. It's kind of dry. I wish that it would dry harder. I just put it on the cup to straight upside down so that it would, like, gravity would pull towards it. I'm gonna go check on my laptop real quick. Okay, now It's installing the update. Finally. Also still drinking coffee. This is another cup I made. It's kind of similar to the other one, except it doesn't have all the jewels and the charm on the side because it's not for a girl. It's for my son, Colby. He is back home in Kahoma and he goes to Kahoma High School. So he got his own cup. And I put the bulldog and I of course added his name. And then for the footballs, instead of the rhinestones, I just made white ones out of vinyl. And then under the C this time I put bulldogs. So that's pretty cool. These cups, I wish I could find more of them. They are from Five Below and they're not a name brand. So like the one that I'm making for the graduation is an Ozark Trail, which I know it's lower end, but it still works really good. These have really pretty colors though, and they're like just solid. So those are pretty cool. My nieces, I found the gold one, and I had got her the gold one, but when I went back they didn't have any more, so that's why I got Valerie the Ozark Trail. And again, sorry if you don't like that I throw stuff on the floor, but I pick it up later. Hey. Okay, so the booster seat did come off, which is too cute, but it left like a little bit of white on there. Also, I think that would take up a lot of space. So we're just gonna focus on these key items. I love that they have little like power cords and stuff. That's too cute. I also don't know how I feel about this cone. It's quite large, but we'll see how it looks. Okay, I mean it's on there, and here's the thing. I'm not too concerned with how stuck it is on there right now. Like, as long as it's on there and it's not falling over and it's not falling off, it can be a little wiggly. Because when I put the epoxy on over everything, the epoxy is going to go inside that hole and form like almost like a band-aid over the ring. So the epoxy's over the ring, attached to the cup, over the inside of the ring, attached to the cup, and then underneath the ring wherever there's like spots. So it's gonna be on there, and it's more for novelty, of course, because it's gonna have something hanging from it, but you should be able to wash it as long as you don't scrub it and like go crazy around the ring, like, unless it's like super disgusting. I don't see why you would need to anyway, but we'll see. If anything, the ring comes off and you still have a cup. I haven't had any trouble with the other one that I made though. It hasn't fall off or anything. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and I'm not going to put this on yet because it's going to be too heavy until everything dries. But it's going to go about here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We've got our cup with the Valerie, class of 2018. We added this cute gemstone border. I've got my little jump ring That's going to hold the tassel. So now we have the whole back side and this side. So directly to the back is where I'm going to add one of the biggest caps. And I'm going to put it off to like a little bit of an angle. So there is the gemstone cap with the gold tassel. So now we have this side over here, and that's where I'm going to add in some of these cute little embellishments. So I'm going to add a blow dryer. Now because these embellishments kind of stick up a little bit, I'm going to go ahead and have to add a few coats of epoxy. What I am going to go ahead and do though is take off this foam sticker, because the foam sticker is what's super thick. And that'll take a lot of epoxy to try to get underneath the layers. The whole sticker is pretty sticky, so that'll just help to stay on until the epoxy gets a hold of it. The foam sticker was just to give it some dimension. Okay, so we got the blow dryer. And then we want to add the clipper. And the clipper doesn't have a foam, so that's pretty good. Just trying to see where the best placement is. And then we have the scissor and the comb. So we've got the front, the side, the back, and then this side with the tassel. There's just a little bit of blank space on either side. So I'm going to go ahead and add the scissors on one side. And I don't like the barber thing, is the only problem. The chair's too big. The comb is super thick. But also the gemstones are thick, so I guess the comb would be fine. But I'm going to take off the foam backing. We're almost done. So after this, we're going to mix the epoxy. I'm going to move the camera over so they can see what I'm doing with the epoxy. But right now, I'm just trying to get this off. Now I do need something sticky for the meantime. I'm going to try some super glue. And we're going to have that be right here. I just don't know why they made this comb so thick. Seems strange. I don't know that the comb's gonna work, guys. It could. There's just gonna be some epoxy underneath the comb. Okay. So here's the cup. Valerie, class 2018. Pom-pom, scissors, comb, tassel, graduation cap, a cute little clipper, and a blow dryer, and then of course that. Now when I'm doing the epoxy, I'll show you too. Once I get the epoxy on, I'm going to add some glitter to the bottom and just kind of like sprinkle it on there, so it ends up looking kind of like champagne, almost like little bubbles of champagne, and it looks really cool with the gold. So I'm going to move you over so that you can see what I'm doing with the epoxy, and then we will go from there. Alright, so this is called a cup-tisserie, and it's just a rotisserie from a barbecue grill, and it's been modified to rotate a cup. So what we do is we put the cup on this wonderful planter foam thing. Forgive me for not being technical. Also, please ignore the mess over here. This has a lot of glitter and glue, and it just never stays clean. So one tip with epoxy is if you put it in warm water, then it actually gets super thin, so that it's easier to work with. And then what you're going to do with the epoxy is you pour 1 part A and 1 part B. It really depends on the size of your project, on how much you use. I'm just getting some gold glitter real quick. So that's gold glitter. So extra fine glitter is best when you're doing stuff with cups. So what I'm gonna do is, because this has like really big pieces on it, I'm gonna go ahead and do 10 cc's. I'm gonna do 7.5. 7.5 cc's of part A, 15 cc's part B, once I have it totaled up. Now also, if you have it in the warm water, what it does is it makes it so thin that when you're mixing it, there's virtually no bubbles. And now mine's been sitting in the water for quite a while, so my water got kind of cold. But if you're using it to like fill molds, you definitely want to have it in warm water. I went over 7.5, so I'm going to have to go a little over 15. So then you mix it. I'm just using a popsicle stick, and I got popsicle sticks from the Dollar Tree. Giant pack for $1. These little cups are medicine cups, so that they have like this measurements on the side. But you can use any cup. You just want to make sure that you do exact amounts of part A and part B. Once they mix together, then they'll cure and they become hard. Now this one that I have is FDA approved, so it's safe for cups. And I don't know where I put the box. I think I left it in the kitchen. I'm going to let that sit for a little bit and grab the box. Alright, so this is amazing casting resin, and it dries clear. So you can use it like if you have molds, you can put molds in it. Polymomoti, I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's really good about making clay figures, and then he creates a silicone mold, and then he uses clear resin, and he'll like tint it with other colors, and then he'll make a resin figure out of the thing he made the clay out of clay. And that's really what I want to do. I've just got to learn how to make a good mold. Now, one other thing I've seen people do when they're mixing the resin to get rid of the bubbles is if you let it sit a little bit, the bubbles come to the top, and then you add a little bit of heat and it pops the bubbles. Now you're going to need at least 2 coats of epoxy. So this first coat is just going to be your base. And then afterwards you can go back and you can sand it if you need to sand it. Sorry for that noise. You don't want to heat it too much because the cup gets kind of melty. So there's no right way to do this. I like to first pour where like the beads and stuff are, or the gems. Maybe even over some of the paper. Just because that's where it's going to need the most. And then we can wait to cover that up in just a second. You can also dip your brush and go over a few things. I like to stop on the ring. Give it a little coat. That's what I was saying, it needs to have some going in it so that it'll stay even more secure. And your first coat doesn't have to be perfect, or not your first coat, but like a first pass, because right now we're just trying to get all of like the little nooks and crannies filled in first. Now this is also self-leveling, so whenever you're putting it on, if you see like little lines or little bumps, don't worry. As long as you have it rotating, it's all going to even out. You will still need like a second coat because sometimes it won't like go over one of the bumps, and then it won't coat evenly in that certain area. But for the most part, it's going to be an even coat. Alright, so I'm just going to start going now over the entire thing. You want to try not to knock your ring off, but see, so like right here I don't have anything. Oh. And once you start going, you can kind of see what's missing. Epoxy. Or maybe even like what has too much, like if too much gets stuck in between these little bubbles, you can blot some of it out. Whoops, sorry. And then I also like to just pour some on the brush and go up and down. I'm going to be careful with some of the little details. And make sure you go over your vinyl so the vinyl doesn't come off. So this comb is giving me trouble, and I kind of knew it would. So let's see what we can do. Pack it on just so that it goes underneath. And give it a nice little brush. See, for the comb, it's making me brush it to an angle to get a smooth transition. So that will hopefully level itself out a little bit. Everything else, you're just going to want to make sure that it's all pretty flat. Oh, see, that's got a little bit too much underneath. Now what I like to do on the bottom right here is just, like from a pretty high angle, just kind of dust some glitter. You don't want to try to get too heavy. There we go. Just lightly dust. And it can go up a little bit, kind of like mountains. We're just going to give it a little extra glitz. And you can tell if you're going too light, then you can kind of tilt it a little more and give it some more. So that's barely any. Oh, my lid closed, that's why. If you go too heavy, then you gotta start all over again. There goes dust in it. There we go. Okay. So then we'll just let that cure. It'll even itself out, and then once that's done, I can go back with some sandpaper or sanding block on some of the rough parts, and then give it another coat after that. I just want to watch it a little bit to see if there's anything missing. See, I think that blow dryer is missing a big chunk. Okay. Alright guys, so that's it for this cup.